Dom, we gotta get out of here. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to Fly By Night Reviews. I'm your host, Kiren.
Dom.
In preparation of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Dom and I are going to review Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. But before we do that, if you guys can like our page and subscribe, it would mean a lot. We're trying to get this page out to as many people as possible. It's our first kind of attempt at doing movie reviews and TV reviews, so if you can do that, it would mean a lot. On that note, let's start with Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Just watched this last night to kind of get a refresher. What did you think, Dom?
Oh, I enjoyed it. It was probably the one I've seen the most. I haven't watched it in a while, but yeah, it's still a pretty good movie. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know this movie came out back in 2014, and you know, I'm not really familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics.
Oh yeah, I read the version that this was based on. So yeah, I was excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, I know James Gunn is, you know, he's the guy who directed this movie and wrote it. He's kind of known for, you know, picking kind of obscure comic book characters and sort of making movies out of them. He sort of did that with Suicide Squad as well, by introducing some kind of offshoot characters. But yeah, I mean, overall, I really enjoyed the movie. It definitely felt like a different type of Marvel film within the kind of status quo. You can tell he kind of had free reign in this one.
Yeah, up until Ant-Man, it felt like the least Marvel-y Marvel movie.
Yeah, it just kind of, I mean, there was definitely parts in the movie that were like, you know, hey, James, we need to, you know, have a
connection
beam in the sky kind of moment, you know, or big battle scene. But overall, I think they gave him a lot of creative freedom, and you can tell a lot of cool comedy in this, a lot of cool character development, which I really appreciated.
Oh yeah.
Just a lot of funny moments. But yeah, I really like this one. I especially, you know, I maybe seen one time. Like, it wasn't one of those movies that I rewatch a lot.
Right.
But it was definitely you know, in the grand scheme of things, I think it was actually one of the best Marvel Universe movies.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Kind of like Thor Ragnarok, kind of along the lines, you know. It's very fun, but yeah, so the plot,
lots of great action scenes, like the prison scene.
Oh yeah, yeah, a lot of cool, a lot of good special effects too, and surprising, the story was really, you know, kind of heartfelt. You know, it starts off with Star-Lord's character. It's kind of back in 1988, and his mom's dying of cancer, and you know, she passes away, and he gets abducted by a spaceship, which in turn is, I think, Yondu. And that's kind of like when sort of he takes the whole Star-Lord persona, I guess. I think Peter Quill is his actual name in the movie, but yeah, it's a pretty basic story. It's kind of like, you know, he's looking for an artifact, I guess, and the
MacGuffin of the story.
Yeah, so it's basically the Power Stone.
I think it's the Power Stone, yeah.
So this is kind of like, you know, it's sort of starting to create the whole Thanos Infinity Gauntlet kind of thing, you know. So
right, that's where they really start diving into it. Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, there's this Power Stone that's in this kind of ball that he ends up finding, and
kind of containment thing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how he meets. I just watched this movie yesterday, believe it or not, and I already forgot how he meets the rest of the Rocket Raccoon and Gamora, and
that I can tell you. He goes and tries to sell the orb.
That's right.
And then outside, when the guy kicks him out because he doesn't want anything to do with Ronan, he runs into Gamora. She tries to take it from him, and as they're fighting over the orb, Rocket and Groot are trying to kidnap Peter because there's a bounty on his head from Yondu. Yeah. And then they're caught, and then they meet Drax in the
prison, right?
The prison.
Yeah. Okay, so So that's kind of the part I forgot about because there's just like so many explosions and battles and stuff like that. But so Drax is kind of has the main villain in this is a guy named Ronan. He's kind of like this blue dude who looks kind of like
He's a Kree, which is the bad guys in Captain Marvel.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's actually in Captain Marvel.
Oh, really? Okay. So is it like is he before they transform into the kind of because they look different. The Krees look different, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have in Captain Marvel. He doesn't have the black paint on his face, but he's still blue.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's less fanatical in
okay.
Yeah. In Captain
Another
Marvel.
one I have to rewatch.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so he's basically kind of the main bad, and he's sort of Thanos' I guess like right hand man, or he's
doing a job for Thanos, so Thanos will wipe out the home planet of the Nova Corps.
Okay. So he was an okay villain. I think some parts he kind of came off a little goofy.
Yeah, especially for like the first couple of phases, the villains were not the strongest, with the exception of like Loki and Thanos.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I guess at this point we're kind of used to the run of the mill villains. I think like Thanos in general, like after like Infinity War, you sort of set the bar for like quality villains, whatever. But overall, I think all Marvel villains are kind of not very good.
Yeah, they try to focus on the heroes more than the villains, which is fine. But yeah,
yeah. So basically, it's kind of Drax is sort of wants to get revenge on Ronan for killing his family, and I guess Gamora, who is Thanos' daughter, and also Nebula. When they're in prison, Drax finds out that Gamora is related to Thanos and is like working with Ronan, or at least he thinks she's working with Ronan, and so he like wants to kill her
to get to Ronan,
to get to him, and then at the end they kind of like befriend Drax because they tell him like convince him like, hey, it's like she's not the enemy,
but we can get you to the enemy.
Yeah, so they kind of have an agreement.
So yeah, basically the break out of prison. They try to sell the orb to the Collector on Nowhere, which is the head of a Celestial. I guess they're the big bads for Eternals.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of Eternals is a weird one. But yeah, trying to get through that. Then there's then they find out what the orb is. They find it's an Infinity Stone, and so Gamora and definitely doesn't want to give it to the Collector because he's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, then Drax, while drunk, tries to, he sends a message out to Ronan to get him to come to Nowhere so he can fight him.
Yeah, I mean, so, like, in hindsight, essentially the plot of the movie is basically this trying to keep this Power Stone away from Thanos.
Yeah.
In hindsight, because it's like, I don't think at this point they know what Thanos is planning to do with the stones.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah, I think they don't know his full extent of his plans, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely was kind of like an introduction sort of movie. And I think they kind of like delve a little bit on Star-Lord's half alien, like heritage.
Oh yeah, they touch on it a little bit. Yeah,
because at the end of the movie, he sort of like grabs the Power Stone, and like a normal person would just die from the sheer energy of it. Mm-hmm. But somehow he was able to survive. So and then they ran some tests like, oh yeah, it looks like you're
only half human,
and of course the next review, Volume 2, is kind of,
we can talk about that more.
Yeah, we'll discuss that more. But overall, I thought it was a good movie. It got me to care about characters that I didn't know about, and like I think that's a good sign of a good director or writer is like making characters that you don't know about, like that basically became like household names. I mean, very successful.
Before 2014, nobody knew.
Yeah.
A talking raccoon? What?
Oh yeah, I mean Rocket Raccoon's probably one of my favorite characters in that. I mean voiced by Bradley Cooper, but he's hilarious. Like,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, it's a good flick. I recommend seeing it if you haven't. It's on Disney Plus if you want to check it out. But yeah, well, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe below. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think of Guardians of the Galaxy. Are you guys stoked about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Let us know. And on that note, we will catch you next time.
Peace.